High-grade Gundam Age-FX. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, Gundam Reviews.net, and I couldn't be any more pleased because you guys all know, if you've been watching this channel for a while, that I'm crazy about lead Gundams, and Gundam Age, for better or for worse, has broken the rule of two that Gundam has always followed, as we get to see Asuno knock over Char there. Nonetheless, instead of having two lead Gundams, they had four, and not just that, with the 3 generations. Also the first time that we've seen a protagonist change outside of Shin and Kira. We're going to get to see Kyo upgrade from the H3 to the Age-FX as the 4th quarter lead Gundam of the series. It's already come out at advanced grade, and you can check out that review, but nonetheless, let's take a look at the high grade, which is going to have a lot more high quality parts and details. Can't wait to see how it works out. 2012 release from Bandai. And I remember back in Grandpa's days when Gunpla only cost a nickel. Instead, after the H1, H2, and H3, we're up to 1,600 yen at seemingly the end of Gundam Age. There you can see the maker and some pretty cool cover art there, although you don't get to see as many C funnels on the side as you do on the front. There's the name bar and the number, and you can see that it's number 27 in the high-grade Gundam Age, although that's really nowhere near as high as we saw with previous lines like 00. The 3rd and 4th generation for Gundam Age have seemed to be just a little bit off compared to some of the earlier ones. We saw the H1 normal, and then the Titus, and then the Sparrow sort of come out in the right order, with the Gunpla sort of lined up in terms of releases here. The Age-FX is just a little bit late compared to its debut in the anime, and it's also a little bit strange that we got the high grade. We did get the high grade of the Orbital before the FX came out, but not the Fortress. The normal came out at the right time. Nonetheless, the H3 is going to be a very nice collection to have all 3 of these, and Kyo adding a 4th. It means only Flit in his, 5 variations, not counting the Razor that we've seen for the H1. For the box tour, I love seeing these plates laid out every time, especially when they've got such bright, vibrant colors in terms of the blue, the yellow on the A plate there, along with some gray for the inner frame and the joints, white for the main body, but it's that plate of all pure green, which I can't wait to see in action. And here you can see it all put together. You can see that he's going to have some pretty colorful legs there with some blue and yellow. That sort of double Zeta-ish. And also you'll notice that these parts are in just the right place to be similar to the new Gundam there. And the lack of red, similar I suppose. And you've got the green parts for the C funnels that are sticking out, 14 of them in total, jutting out all over the place. The guy looks like a porcupine. You wouldn't want to meet this guy in a melee hug, as you may have seen in Extreme Versus. But the rest of the features here, you can see this incredible thing. You've got the FX, you can display him at the same time up on the action base and have this clear ring on there. So it's going to have 2 attachment points on there. And you can take off all of the C funnels there. The body's still going to look pretty good, especially when your eyes are going to be caught by all that great details in the back. You're also going to have the core fighter recreated. Not all that exciting, I suppose. The H3 ones may have been a little bit more exciting, both in design and implementation, at least in the anime. Here you've got the C funnels attached onto it. Looking forward to seeing how it's going to work as a thrusters. And then you've got the extra weapons. You've got the Daidal bazooka, or whatever you want to call it there, to go along with the Stanger rifle, which is actually going to have these 2 gray parts that are going to move forward and look a little bit cool. And you're also going to have the C funnels there, 6 large, 8 small, and it looks like with that ring that you can position it all over the place. We've already seen it around the back like a horseshoe, and you can also have it coming forward. So we haven't seen this many possibilities in terms of playing with green rings since the days of the Stargazer, and I wish we had seen more for the Quanta. To the other side, where we get to see some great looking line art. It looks a lot more purple than blue on this side here. The weapons there are going to be laid out again, including the fact that you can change it into a bazooka, C funnels, and the sabers all over the place, which don't seem to be included. You're also going to have some great looking CG art. The way he uses the C funnels, both defensively and offensive, is a treat to watch. And unpainted right out of the box, you're going to have all the yellow in all the right places, it looks like, including on the back of the leg. You are going to have purple here on the green, which is going to be unlike the advanced grade. And the open hand and the different manipulators just mean that when this guy says go forth and destroy/protect, that he means business. Inside the box, here's what you're going to be getting, starting at the top, where you've got a disappointing amount of seals there. Lots of blue seals there to go along with the yellow, blue, and gray there on the A plate, along with the polycaps. On a more positive note, though, tons of clear green there on the D plate. More clear parts than you'd expect there. You're also going to have some F for the big gun there in gray to go along with the white for the main part of the body to go along with the gray. You're also going to have down here, it looks like a survey, and they're saying go and buy Hobby Japan and you get the H1 Razor with its 2 add-on plates to go along with the manual for this number 27. The A-plate has a pleasant surprise as there's actually going to be 4 colors on there, despite what I said earlier. In terms of the yellow, you can see some key parts there that are going to go into the chest and on the neck, and that V-fin has a lot of details on it, and that little thing so you don't poke out your eyes is well hidden on the back. You'll notice a few larger than you'd expect pieces there, including a cool looking large blue part there, but it's this purple stuff down here that's really going to catch the eye. You've got this part here for the C-funnels, it looks like, to go along with this part that's going to go in the back of the head. And outside of that, you're going to see all the different parts needed up there for the manipulators. I should note that all the plates here are actually listed as being for the Age-FX, and none of them look like they're going to have any variations coming up in the future, so maybe 10 is going to be the number of the leads, although I guess if you counted the Age-1, we could be up at 12, I suppose. In terms of the quality of the carving here, you can see the front face mask is looking good. You can make a little bit of a line there if you want to go and add some ink to it. 5 covers there for the manipulators, front and back for the head there, some good details here, including the ability to go in and put some black there on the side of the ears. And outside of that, you can just see some very cool cuts in there, including some very deep channels on the surprisingly large parts there, and the shoulders look like they're going to have an interesting build up there. The C-plate has a combination of large and small parts there, and you can see that you're going to have some parts that are going to make up the inner frame, or at least the joints there, to go along with some of these larger parts. You're also going to have everything you need for the elbows and the waist section, and a very large base there. And it looks like it can plug in the front and back, this large part here. It's onto the D-plate, which has to be the most distinctive use of clear green since we've seen the old 00 kits there. On this D-plate, you're going to have 6 of the large C-funnels down below, and you'll notice that you have a little tiny slit there. So you can actually take those purple parts that you saw on the A-plate and put them on, but it means you're going to be using seals here for all of the smaller variations up on the top, all 8 of them. C is for cookie here on the E-plate, which is going to give you more clear parts there. This part is going to plug into that action base where you saw, or the base anyway, that you saw had 2 holes in it so that you can have the large part up there and the other part as well, but more importantly is going to be this ring that goes all around, and you can take the C-funnels and attach them in all sorts of cool poses. On a less positive note though, you've got this clear part there which is going to go on the chest, and you'd think that if they're giving you this much clear green that they could have just added on that extra little part. As it is, a little bit of Tamiya green or a clear green or anything like that should go ahead and fix that up. You've also got this part there for the cockpit, but on the back here you're going to notice that they've got these little indents here that are all evenly spaced around. So you can take all of these, 14 of them, and plug them in, but you're not going to have too much freedom. I suppose you could omit them, but you're not going to be able to move them close together and make a shield like something we would have seen from 00. And finally, the F-plate is going to bring home those 2 weapons there. You can see that this is going to make up the main part, and then this part is going to be the supplement that just gets added on to it. Everything there is looking pretty cool, and again, it's somewhat surprising, I suppose. We could have seen this added into another kit, but it's unique to just the FX. No beam sabers attached, which means we're left with PC001 plus the A supplement. Along with the less than pleasing sight here, these are done up in purple though, instead of the blue that I mentioned earlier. And basically on the A-plate you're going to have 6 of these little parts here, the purple parts that are going to go on top of the clear green. But on the other side, and hopefully that's going to be on the back side when you actually attach them onto the body, or on the shield if you're making an impressive ring around him, you're going to put these on the right way. But no such luck there with the smaller C-funnels there, as you've got 8 for the front and 8 for the back and no alternatives there, besides actually painting them out properly. In terms of the clear green, you'll notice that you're going to have the camera lenses, the black and green eyes, and even though I complain about that clear part there, they are going to give you a seal that you can go ahead and deal with instead, if you don't want to go out and get some clear green paint or just leave it blank. Again, I love that cover art, whether it's on the manual or on the box itself. And there you can see the main protagonist, I suppose, of Gundam Age in terms of the number of episodes, or at least in terms of the number of episodes that he was the main character, although of course Flit's been there throughout, kill them all and all that. Here you can see the great line art, and somewhat surprising that this is a 5-page manual. It's a non-transformer, so you wouldn't think that you need it too much. Nonetheless, when you open it up, you can see the splash pages. Again, it's looking all good. That is same image of the core fighter. Here you can see with the rifle in hand that he's going to look pretty good with that open dynamic hand again. Those green spikes all over the place, but it's this kind of thing. The fact that you can have it twisted off to the side, around him, behind him, doesn't matter. They're all going to look pretty good, especially when he's saying, go forth, and hopefully not multiply. You are going to have the bonuses that with this base, you can take the extra manipulators and store them underneath. That's a big plus. The main camera eye is going to be made out of camera seals. Here, this is actually going to, it says that you've got some details there. It's not going to be similar to the Age system the way we've seen it done in the past. It is clear parts instead of, but it's going to have a seal there. Disappointing. Nonetheless, pose like that makes up for it. There's the bazooka, which is going to look oversized and cheesy. I wonder how it's going to work in actual practice. Then they're going to show off Kyo's old mobile suits before they got upgraded to this ringed guy. The inside is going to show off the familiar plates there, looking good, especially that clear one and the green one. Again, surprising somewhat that it's not the same as the advanced grade. And after you build up the core fighter and put it up on the base, you can have that constructed while you're actually building up the rest, including the arms, the legs, and the upper body, and at this point you're ready to put it together. Which you can see here on the back, including the core fighter actually swinging down to go in G Gundam style and shining. That's a nice familiar touch. Here you can see the weapons getting put together there. Some very small seals are going to be put on the inside of the green there, so keep an eye out for that. The bazooka is going to have 3 large pieces here, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom that you attach together. Again, seals go on there. And then talking about seals, well, I hope you enjoy putting on all those little purple ones on the front and back of the little ones, and at least on the back of the big ones. And then it's going to show you how you can attach those in and that you can move this white one around. It's cool that it's got that little click in there, that little indent that's cut out so that you can actually move it around and hopefully have it locked in place. Never get tired of seeing that, and little bonuses like this, always a plus to see that you have somewhere to store your extra parts instead of in a Ziploc bag. So a very good, if not great, unbox I'd say here. The reason I don't say great is just because of the number of seals. The advanced grade doesn't have it, and you can check out its review, of course. But it looks like it's going to have a few problematic things, like this one actually has blue, gray, and white in the shoulders. The high grade doesn't seem to have that, although we are going to have the pluses of having the extra yellow in the back of the legs. Nonetheless, the fact that it's like this guy who's looking pretty cool, but can actually move and move very, very well. The stand being included so you can have the core fighter out there, and more importantly, the ring out in 15 different directions, and any combination that you want to do with those 14C funnels. Can't wait to see how it's going to work out in practice, although I think that the weapons themselves that are actually handheld, including the bazooka, may not turn out, but nonetheless, stick around and we'll check out the parts together and then put the mobile suit together. And anyway, everybody, why don't you let me know what you think of this video, this kit, and of course this lead Gundam is for too many. I'd love to hear from you with a comment down below, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Come on. Simpsons did it.